Davis, it's been one of the wildest weeks we've had yet.
It certainly has, Frank. 9 300 games, several 299s, several 298s. And the big story, of course, this week is Cliff McNealy taking a week off last week, coming back this week to be our top-seeded qualifier.
Now, you figured a lot of the big-name bowlers, the Roths and the Anthonys, would be around, but nowhere to be seen.
That's right. Earl Anthony had a disappointing 110th finish. Mark Roth, very disappointed this week. Flew home right after the turn, finished 55th. Marshall Holman, the third leading money winner, 44th.
You mentioned Cliff McNealy, the #1 seed. He's from San Lorenzo, California. Perhaps not the best-known bowler on the tour, so fill us in a little bit about Cliff.
Well, like you said, he's not the best-known bowler on the tour, but Cliff McNealy did defeat Earl Anthony to win his only title. He did it in Cleveland this year. The other time he made the TV show, Earl Anthony defeated Cliff McNealy.
So he has been there under the pressure. We were down to 5 bowlers this morning, and right now let's show you the stair step elimination, which has gotten us down to the final 2. Giplantine, a rookie, the #5 qualifier. He took on Henry Gonzalez, and Dave, it turned out to be no match. Henry was hot.
Right, Henry finished with the last 7 strikes for a 250. Gip had a nice 202 game for the first time in the top 5.
So that meant Gonzalez qualified to meet our #3 man, Eddie Ressler. Gonzalez did it again with a super finish. 5 straight strikes this time.
That's right, and Eddie Ressler gave him the chance in the 9th frame with an open on the right-hand lane, the tougher lane today, finishing with a 193 game.
And Gonzalez continued his Torrent play against the #2 qualifier, former PBA champion Warren Nelson. There was no contest.
Now, Warren Nelson again on the right-hand lane, 3 open frames, still finished with a respectable 180 game.
There's so many similarities between this and the golf tour after covering golf quite a bit. It's amazing. There's Gonzalez in the 6th.
A lot of power in that shot, Frank. He just opened the pins right up. This is a can opener shot, and that was a big shot for him. He's working on a spare, and you can see the pins. They just lay over here. Everything just opens up and falls.
We are dead even through 6 frames. $8,000 to the winner, $5,000 to the loser.
That was a big strike for Henry Gonzalez. Kept the count even. And should have 96 through the 5th and strike up in the 6th.
Again, take a look at the footwork. 1, 2, pause. 1, 2, 3. And another. So Gonzalez starting to spurt. Coming on strong, and now he takes the lead. Dead even match here in the 7th.
Cliff McNealy has been a little bit conservative on lane 14, trying to play it light, doesn't want to get the hook, but he's got to go with what he does best, and that's just throw the ball solid in the pocket.
That looked about as solid as it could be.
Well, that's one of the impossible breaks of professional bowling. He threw that ball almost perfectly, and you can see the 4-pin will go against the wall, straight back, and leaving a solid 7.
Big deep breath.
No, Cliff. Bad break for Cliff McNealy. Twice on that lane he's thrown the ball exceptionally well. And so far he's bowled a great game.
He was the 1974 Sporting News PBA Rookie of the Year. Third time he's bowled for a PBA title on national television. And he covers the 7, but that's still got to be a disappointment.
Yes, it does. It's a big disappointment. Put him 10 pins behind, and with Henry working on strikes, and Cliff working on a spare, coming into the 8th frame, you're not in very good shape.
Gonzalez has shown a tendency, once he gets going with a double or triple, he just keeps going. Here's McNealy.
Big shot for Cliff in the 8th frame here. Must have a strike here.
He's down by a margin of 10 pins. And a word or two for those pins.
He got the strike in the 8th frame. And the big thing about that solid 7 was combined in between this strike and the 1 in the 6th frame. It cost Cliff McNealy 20 pins.
You're talking about the comparisons with golf. These guys want to do what the golfers do, and that get a repetitive swing, isn't it?
Exactly right. To work out, that's why you practice 50, 60, 70 games a week, plus the 40 in the tournament, over 100 games a week, to get that swing grooved.
Golfers read putts, bowlers read lanes. And he read that one nicely. He's got a triple. Ironically, in the other tournament that Gonzalez won, he came from the 4th qualifying position. And when he gets going, he gets going. He rolled 771 for 3 matches to win that tournament in Grand Prairie in 1977. Though he's out of Colorado Springs, he is originally from this area, Santa Monica, and played baseball while attending Santa Monica College. 10-pin.
Right. And that's what we call a weak 10, Frank. That's where the ball just doesn't develop enough power or enough energy into the pins. And you can see the 6-pin will just lay over into the channel and just doesn't want to get next to the 10 at all. It's just very weak. See, it comes close and then kind of just lays down.
Explain the difference between a strong 10 and a weak 10.
Well, that ball just didn't have enough on it to kick the 6 off the kickback or off the sideboards. A strong 10 would be when the 6-pin just whistles right around the 10.
Gonzalez taking up the spare on the 9th, breaks his string. Here's Turkey. Still a tight match. McNealy with a 19-pin deficit now as he steps up in the 9th frame.
Possible 226 with the 9th and 10th if he strikes it all the way out. Henry Gonzalez only can get 225, so Cliff McNealy has to go to the whip right here. Must strike out in the 9th and 10th.
As you pros say, you want to go to the wall, yeah?
That's exactly right. Got to go to the wall from here. Only a sure victory if he strikes out.
Less than a sure victory now.
Yeah, it's again that right-hand lane. The ball breaks very sharply into that lane. Spare here, strikes out.
He's been a little erratic.
206. Now watch the ball, how sharply it hooks at the end, going very high into the pocket. The 2-pin almost coming back for the 4. The right-hand lane has plagued all the bowlers today.
Well, it's there for Gonzalez to take.
Right, and what has to happen right now with Cliff McNealy leading this tournament for 42 games? He must strike out, which would give him a 206. Henry Gonzalez working at a 215 clip. Cliff has to hope that Henry makes a mistake.
I want to remind you, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll have the conclusion of the Pan American Games from San Juan, Puerto Rico, including the impressive and colorful closing ceremonies. We hope you've enjoyed CBS coverage of this great international event the last couple of weeks. Meanwhile, back here in Torrance, California, McNealy trying to come from behind.